I think from my personal experience, I see many students, they are always the top performer in the class. They always perform well in all of their exams. They get into good university, they finish all their study in A's, and they graduate with PhD. But at that point, they start to think, oh, what is my real interest? Which career direction should I go? That would be too late. So we try to have high school students to think a little bit earlier while they are still in high school, which kind of direction they want to go later. And we want to give students opportunities to try it out. That's why we have all those courses providing for high school students. As you can see, if you are a student who want to be a doctor later, you can take courses like genes and disease, or AP biology, biochemistry, those type of courses which you normally won't see at your high school while you are still at high school. So for one thing, if you take the courses, you will know whether or not you really have interest in this subject. It helps you to confirm your career interest, and it will also helps you to choose which kind of major you want to head in later. And on the other hand, if you do well in these courses, it will be really good support information in your college application package, because college can clearly see that that's your passion and you make effort and you are doing well in that subject. So we want to support students to pursue their dreams. So other than those courses, STEM courses is another type of courses I see international schools use a lot. Because nowadays, more and more government focus a lot on STEM courses. And for some schools, they may not have strong faculty team or existing curriculums. So that's the time when they collaborate with us to have students enrolled in those STEM courses. So we have all kinds of engineering courses and science courses, and we use next generation science standards, which means we are giving students lots of opportunities to practice what they learned. It's not just about learning the concept, but also put it into practice. Dual enrollment is something fairly new, but it's very popular. It is also college-level courses. We partner directly with college. While students are still in high school, they can take these dual enrollment courses, which is at the college level. Later, they can get college credit as well. And for most college credit, it can be transferred into different universities. It is also a good money saver for high school students. Especially in US, we're mainly working with public schools. And when students take those courses online, they don't need to pay additional money. So students always think it is good to study some college courses right now when it is covered by the government, other than wait till college to pay it by themselves, which is quite expensive. One thing I think it might be very interesting for many parents and students in Malaysia is that we provide more than 50 gifted and talented courses for gifted, talented students in middle school level. Because as you can imagine, some students are very advanced, like 7th grade, they already finished algebra, they don't know which kind of courses they can provide at school, and the school or the parents don't feel comfortable sending the students directly to high school because the social skills is not at that level yet. And for this kind of cases, many times the school or the parents will send them online to take more advanced courses with higher age students, so students won't feel bored at school. We also have some courses developed for middle school students. Although our name is called the Virtual High School, it's mainly developed for high school students, but nowadays we also have some courses for middle school students. Customized programs is very interesting. It's mainly to partner directly with schools to find out what the school needs. For example, when we work with a private school in US, that school chemistry teacher called me saying that we're going to have chemistry next year, and we want to make sure we integrate climate change into the topic. But we don't have any existing materials or curriculums about climate change. Do you have some courses we can use? So we found out that we have a 4-week summer school course called Earth, Our Changing Planet, mainly talking about climate change. So what this private school will do is that they will use our content. They will use their own teacher, and they will use our platform. So the school students, when they are taking chemistry, there will be 3 or 4 weeks. They will take these courses online in a blended way. They still communicate with their teachers in their school, and they are using the curriculums developed by us. It is, of course, it's okay for the school to develop similar curriculums, but it doesn't make sense for the school to reinvent wheels. That's why the school choose to use our existing curriculum about climate change. And another interesting customized program we offered is that we partner with a school in China where students' first language is not English. So they like our subjects, they like this way of online learning, but they find that their English proficiency is not at that level yet. So what we did is we designed a set of bridging courses. It's like ESL immersion bridging courses, still in that subject, still meet all the common core standards, but we lower the vocabulary requirement. We try to make the explanation a little bit more straightforward, more structured, more friendly for ESL students. So students from lower language proficiency, they can still be able to take those content courses. So we are trying to find all the ways we can to support schools when they have needs. Right now, there are many different kinds of online courses. So one thing when you choose an online course, when you work with online course providers, you might want to check that whether or not it meets all the accreditation requirement or the standards. Because we started so early as online education pioneer in US, actually we helped to make all kinds of online education standards. And now after 20 years, it's time to renew those standards. We are heavily involved in that process as well. So we meet all the online education standards. Because of our location of Massachusetts, Boston, we're meeting all the Common Core standards in Massachusetts. As the education standard in Massachusetts is high, so it meets all the standards in United States. And talking about accreditation, whether or not the universities will approve the transcript or accept transcript from the virtual high school. Normally, the university will check accreditation first. There are 4 big accreditation agencies in US. We get accreditation from 2 agencies, which is Middle States and Advanced Ed. And like NIASC is another accreditation agency. It always wants us to be accredited by NIASC as well, but because we already have 2, we don't want to spend too much effort to get all accreditation, because one accreditation will be good enough. And in US, student athlete is a big population, so National Athlete Association is the only organization in US where check curriculums. It approves all of our curriculum, which speaks to our quality. And of course, all the AP courses are approved by College Board. Every year, they need to check our course content. They need to check our teacher's certification to make sure it aligns with College Board requirement. Because we have been doing well in online learning in these years, we have so many awards related to online learning as well. So let's talk a little bit about what is online learning, how we do online learning. Because when you think about online learning, for most people, initially, you may think about video. Like you will see a recorded video on YouTube or other platform. You will see a teacher's lecture is filmed, and then later you just click that and watch the video, that's all. But the way we do online learning is totally different. We think online learning is a collaborative, interactive process. We don't want to just dump the information in front of you and let you do self-study. We want to make sure it is like your normal classroom. You are still grouped into a small group, a cohort-based experience, that everyone is on the same schedule. You have one teacher and 20 students, and you are together building this kind of learning community, and you are together along the way of your study. And that's why we call it paced study, because when it's cohort-based, when we want to focus on collaborative learning, only the same pace can enable you to talk with your classmates about the same subject. If everyone is on a different pace, it's impossible for you to work on the same project. That's why we choose this kind of paced learning. Asynchronous, which means students and teachers may log in at different time, which gives us flexibility. It is also because students are around the world. Even in US, there are 3 different time zones. So it's difficult for everyone to set a time to log in online at the same time. So we try to allow students and parents to log in at different time. For example, I always hear questions, if you are not logging in at the same time, how can you interact with each other? I think most of you will have experience using an online discussion forum. Like one person posts something there, then after 2 or 3 hours, other people can follow the discussion. You can have a very minimum discussion using discussion forum, and you don't need to jump into the discussion forum at the same time. That's how we run this kind of discussion. And also we have lots of group activities, which we use Wikipedia, blog, and all kinds of tools to enable students to work on the same document files, to work on the same projects together. And we make sure that all of our courses are teacher-led. So there is always a teacher in the classroom, and that teacher is trained for online learning as well. I will talk a little bit more about our teacher later. And we call it the virtual high school because we want to give students virtual classroom experience. It is still a classroom. It's not just the independent learning by yourself. You interact a lot with other students. And we want to make sure that you always have meaningful interaction